Yo, what's up, guys? Let's go. Get on in here. Smash that like button. Let's get ready to roll. Brand new release day. I'm super excited. Yo, what's up, everybody? Good morning. Smash that like button. We have exciting news today. Pop out scanners, multiple instances. I'm super excited to play with this. Now I can have all my strategies on like one screen at once, which is phenomenal. I can't wait. Let's see if this works. There it is. This is super exciting. This is going to make my job 1,000 times easier. Probably like 1,000 at least. Liquidity map. I don't even know how I'm going to set them up. I've got so many different ways to do it. So I'm going to do my breakups, breakdowns in one scanner. Or breakups in one scanner. Breakdowns in one scanner, bull liquidity map in one scanner, bear liquidity maps in another. Let's just figure out how it works. I'll find my scalps in another one. Let's see how this works. Let's do this one. Actually, I know I want to do this one. Okay, parameters, just get rid of all of those. That. I'm excited to do this. What's up, guys? Good morning. I think market's opening outside of the rational bands. You guys want to talk about what we mentioned in the mornings. We have that 5. Let's open this guy up. In the mornings, we look for rational markets. So right at 7:30 this morning, let's go to the calendar today. Right, we had GDP come out. GDP is slightly. GDP is doing pretty well, right, compared to expectations. You're going to have an increase in production. People got their jobs back pretty much standard, but you see market responding to that. We are opening irrational, so no day trades in the irrational side. As a matter of fact, what most traders here do is they will sell options on the north side of the market as we've traded in the irrational side. VIX has responded very rapidly to triple B. This is something we teach you guys. This is one of our big calculations. This is what it does. Heading wrong date. Oh, is today the 22nd? You know, I have no sense of time anymore. I swear to God. Let's go. 12, 22, 22, 8:20 a.m., 8:22 a.m. There we go. So when it comes to day trades, right? Nothing in liquidity map do I do until we get back inside the band. So irrational open on S&P, irrational open on NASDAQ. VIX is above triple B. If we go back to our Discord, you guys want to see how these strategies work. Our Discord is free. The link is in the bio. And I'm going to go straight to the strategy guide and pull this up. Trading strats, you will see. Front and center. Triple B is a calculation that sits still for an entire month. You can steal the number from my chart. It's on VIX futures. Bull bear breakpoints, the number... on my chart. If you are above it, there's loose pivots, overshoots. Market can be a little crazy. If you're below it, there's razor sharp pivots. So all your technical indicators will have nice sharp pivots down here. It's this white line, 2072. So the fact that we reacted to it off of a GDP number, you can see that that is pretty much going to show loose pivots and overshoots. Irrational markets down here. Okay, so let's pull Rocket Scooter front and center. We're going to take a look, see irrational markets. We're going to see what's going on with the new scanner. I have a brand new window. I'm setting it up right now. So let's see if that is the window. Top left. There we go. So what I'm doing right now is I'm setting up my scanner to do... Now this is one thing I can't do. Let me send him a picture of that. I need to be able to change the... So now, check it out, guys. Multiple scanner instances. Let him know if this is a thing really quick. Resize. Okay. Neat. This is like what we've waited for, right? This is super exciting. So now we can have all of our scanner stuff going. Okay, cool. This is amazing, though. Other than this, dude, can't see the number. Hold on one second. Okay, so these are liquidity map bull side, liquidity map bear side. Over here, I'm gonna have hedge pressure, and I was trying to get them side by side, but this is one of the things that I'll have him change to be able to resize. This is actually getting squashed off the screen here. So hedge pressure break up, monthly hedge pressure break up. So I'm gonna have all my breakout cases sitting here. Maybe, you know what, just to compensate for today, I don't care to see all the parameters. Okay, reiterating that ticker distance, let's get rid of those. Okay, perfect. Yeah, so that is one thing that I'll let him know that. We'll have that fixed tonight. Cool, right? Super cool. I never tried multi-screening it though. Like this, right? This is dope. You guys like the new scanner? EBV number is 22.72 on VIX futures. Okay, let's get front and center on Rocket Scooter. You guys smash that like button while you're here. Okay, we're bear short up on the S&P. Now remember, irrational markets mean that this is a day where you say, okay, if you're a day trader, we always can choose to sit out. I'm choosing to sit out. It's your first day into Rocket Scooter. I'm choosing to sit out today. Okay, everybody understand why? We can talk about it very quick, but I'm choosing to sit out today. Okay, first and foremost, we have a video that goes over what irrational markets are, and the irrational market is one of the best things that you can understand. There's two ways to trade it. Number one is to not trade it. That is the safest way to trade it. Markets will be random and choppy. You're just flipping a coin and gambling. So the first bookmarks there. The first thing you'll want to do is the irrational market checklist. We'll go through these 5 different things we do. They're very rapid. They're very easy to go through. And the first thing we're going to go through is this. When you open outside of the doomsday bands, this is the deviation of the futures and the stocks. When you open outside of this band, irrational. So what most people do is don't do day trades. If you are day trading, then what most people do will sell a vertical credit spread. So what we'll do is they'll sell calls up in the north side of this range and buy calls in case you pop back in. So if a general example, without even looking at liquidity map, this is in Thinkorswim. So If I were to want to make a long trade here or make money here, I will sell a vertical credit spread to assume that I get money when both of these options expire. A 0-day vertical credit spread on SPY, where I will buy calls right on the inside of the band, 38.90 or wherever it would equivalently be, and I would sell calls outside of the band to bet that we don't go from this side of the band to that side of the band. Questions? Questions? Oh, my bad. I'm such an idiot. Oh, wait, my bad. Whoops. Okay. Starting over. Let me drink my coffee. I lost my voice yesterday and it's freezing cold. Yeah, thanks, Ollie. Thanks, Alan. You guys are amazing. Everybody in this chat, go to that like button and click that smash like button. Somebody sent me a picture yesterday. Some moderator or some Discord sent me a picture yesterday of somebody in that Discord asking people to harass and terrorize our stream. I know some inside guy over there. He's like, hey, check it out. So they're like making robots to spam dislike our YouTube, I guess. I don't know. Weird people. So you gotta hit that like button, right? Super crazy. Maybe they don't know their mods. Telling people what they're doing. Let's go. Right here, outside of this band. People are weird on the internet, I swear. Right here. Anytime you're outside of the band, irrational. Outside of the band, irrational. Number one. Number two, anytime the VIX travels more than the distance of one risk interval, irrational. This is fine. VIX is nice and clean today. So the S&P futures have moved too far at the open. Irrational signal one. VIX is cool. Let's just check that off. Do we have a market catalyst? The way you measure a catalyst is on the event if the market moves more than one risk interval. And that's a number that comes from our bots in our Discord. So go to the Discord and the bots will give you that number. It's 29.5 on the S&P. So the index catalyst today, GDP numbers, did not move it 29.5 points. So no index catalyst. Okay, the event happened. It did not break through that on the catalyst in general. So, well, actually, let's double check. Maybe it is close to that. Let's pop the screen nice and big. Let's just double check this really quick. Make a little box, 29.5 distance. I'm just going to randomly do it. Okay, so essentially the idea is that people at this junction, we're going to likely be selling calls on the north side of the band to bet that we don't flip rational till the end of the day, right? So that's how that works. So anything right now, this is likely a bear sell-off or a not bull sell-off. So most people I know will be in these selling calls and longing the instrument thing. So you're selling cover calls. You might be long the stock and selling the calls, or long the option, selling the option. Either way, that's what most people do. 29.5 would be here. So from 30.95 to 60. Hold on, mate. I do my math wrong. Okay, that's better. Let's go to a tick chart. So this is going to see if we flagged. Oops, let's add a tick chart. Edit. So, right. So all across the board, and we'll go back to the scanners in just 1 second. I'm just showing the irrational stuff. You guys can see right here we had an event. There's no impact red line, so that's pretty clean. But the event came right there. So outside of this band, post-event, the market is irrational on two fronts. We have the catalyst irrational and doomsday irrational. So even right here, right? This will be a high volume pivot, a guaranteed high volume pivot all day long. You guys want to write that number down. This is another rocket scooter trick, one of our 15 tricks. And I like to mark them. We're going to call this GDP 1222 CAT. Okay, catalyst. And there's your high volume pivot. Boom, right off the number. This is the risk interval. This is a trick we teach. And then there's your pivot. That's your rational mark for today. Sentiment sell off. What's the number? What do you mean, what's the number? Why anybody spam you warm and friendly? I don't know. They usually get upset when their YouTube channel or their trade room or their whatever is watching ours rocket by, and they don't understand why nobody likes them. Probably because they do shit like that, and they just get mad, and then that's how they deal with their anger. It's usually always angry wannabe competitors or something. What's the price level? What's the number on the chart? 36, 38, 63, 87. I know, I'm chill. Like, I don't have any drama with anybody. But such is life. Go here. Irrational today. See you tomorrow. Quran. Later, bro. Love you, man. He knows the rules. Okay, so this is your high volume pivot off the irrational catalyst. So that's 3 of the 5 tools. So again, repeating, right? Number 1, outside doomsday band is irrational. Already done for the day. Number 2 is if VIX travels more than this distance total in a session, which is very far. So the answer is no. So doomsday flagged irrational. Catalyst risk interval. This is another one. If you move more than 29.5 points on the S&P, a bot gives you this number. This changes every Sunday. There's your high volume pivot, predictable off of that. The technique I just drew, if you guys want to write down in your notebooks on the notes you're taking, this is called the risk interval catalyst technique. So this is one of the things that we do teach in our videos. And this high volume pivot right here is predictable. See where I drew this right here? Oh, you can't see the name. Oh, that's what you meant. It's your name on the right. Okay, my bad. Thanks, buddy. Okay. So if I were to zoom in on this like 1 minute chart, watch this, right? Your little high volume pivot right here. Boom, boom. This is predictable. This catalyst range is predictable as well. That is a neat thing we teach. It's called the risk analysis. So the first thing we actually made. So that's 3 of 5. That flags. That's a problem. The next 2 things are going to be UVXY and rocket scooter based stuff. So if you have a hedge pressure break on the S&P, which we didn't have, so there's no check there. UVXY. It takes 10 seconds to check them all. Nothing there. Okay. So you're looking for... On Rocket Scooter, the other 4 and 5 checks are going to be God, these load lightning fast right now. What somebody said, what server was talking shit? Trust me when I say I'd rather not give a server with like 20 active subscribers any publicity. Whatsoever. It's like that one mosquito. I'm not gonna like walk around and spend any effort to try to get rid of it or to bring any attention to it. Just let it be. Okay, last one's right here. You know what I'm saying? Oh, they'd love for us to shine our spotlight on them for 5 seconds. Might be able to put food on the table for the month if, if we gave them that luxury. Okay, look. Watch this, guys. Ready? Oh, but seriously, though, we have, like, no enemies. 0. Okay, go for it. Incredible update. It's fucking amazing. I love it. Okay, so the 5 irrational signals I'm going to go through very quickly. And you guys, hit that like button really quick, okay? Really quick. Okay, so these are the 5 things you do. Okay, and eventually they'll all be in Rocket Scooter. So again, repeating. Number 1, outside of Doomsday Band, that's already a flag. So what people do here is when you're outside of this band, the idea is to sell options on this side of the band. You don't bet that you go from really irrational bearish to market steady to market bullish. It just doesn't flip-flop without a catalyst. On GDP could do that. What I would normally do is the way I would trade this is in a day trade is this is a sit out day and let it fall. It's not a, ooh, I'm going to get a short, let me jump in on it. Irrational days can immediately rocket back in. This is a day where you empower yourself and you can say, fuck today, I'm sitting out. Because the market has moved too far, too fast, and they're going to have unusual hedging push the market all over the place. Okay, so outside of the irrational band, or out in any irrational flags, all of your technical indicators will fail. Everybody, I don't care what you do, moving averages, MACDs, fibs, whatever. They will not be very razor tight pivots. They will not be acting as consistent as they normally would. So in days like this, your moving averages will cross over and uncross. They're going to be, everything will fail. Technical analysis fails when irrational. That's what we proved. So The game is guess where you think price will go today, and you will be wrong. And scare yourself out of trading directionally here. Now, the way we trade, if you do want to trade, is if it's this bearish, instead of betting directional bearish, is you bet on not bullish. And not bullish, not means sell, bullish means call. So the not bullish means sell call side. So what a lot of people do will buy the dip and sell covered calls against it, right? So if you sell the calls, you collect the premium, just keep selling calls to match the loss you're making on the what you're buying, and you balance out your cash sweep, and then you have no risk on the table, because if the market rallies, your position goes in the money. I mean, your position gains. Your options are way out of the money, so they don't lose anything if they expire very soon, near term. Options prospect, bro. I'll give you all the love you want. Come in, buddy. Come in for a hug. Let's go. Bring it in. I'll give you. See, that's the thing. If you have a server, I always give people love. If you got a good server and you sell a good product, I always give you guys some love. Come on in, bud. Wrap it up. Let's go. Big hug. Let's go. Bring it in. What is the reason you're willing to chase longs in irrational markets? Because irrational to the long side is always what everyone on Wall Street wants to see. Everyone on Wall Street wants a nice, steady, lovable bull market. Right? That's what everyone wants, is a market that goes up. So when markets are rational to the upside, everybody comes back to the buffet. When liquidity increases, when irrational markets to the downside, people stay away from the markets because there are always more longs and shorts on the non-dealer side. So when markets are collapsing, there are few people playing the game. More people are scared of this than they're scared of this, right? Like if I were to tell you, like, you've never seen the stock market before, but one day, right? And I were to say, what scares you more in general, a market crashing or a market rallying? What would you all say? Let's do a quick vote. I'll prove this point to you. Everybody right now, what scares you most? Just write rallying or crashing. If you were to say one of the two makes you feel a little icky, which one scares you the most, the crashing or the rallying? Let's see if everybody understands the psychology here. Right? Y'all are all on the same page, right? So you might have a perma bear who might be scared by the rally, but most people are scared by the crash, right? If you can see that the skew is mostly tilted to the crash side, more people are scared of the crash, which means less people are scared of the rally, right? So when you're scared, you tend to not act. It's called deer in the headlights, right? You tend to freeze and not do much. When you're less scared, you tend to do anything. As a matter of fact, when you're winning, you tend to do more. That's called the hot hand fallacy, right? The gambler's paradox, or gambler's fallacy, what do they call it? The winning streak fallacy. If you're winning, you tend to play more and play again. Oh, I won this game. Let me play it again. Oh, I made 5 free throws in a row. Let me shoot one more time. I'm on a streak. If you're winning, you tend to play more. If you're losing, you tend to play less. So playing more is more liquidity. Playing less is less liquidity. This is a mind-blowing psychological example for me when I thought of this and figured this out, is that market crashes are liquidity vacuums. Market rallies are liquidity, I don't know, like hurricanes that just deluge liquidity onto the market. Deluge means dump. So this is liquidity runs to the market, liquidity flees from the market. So this is going to be, this has the ability to be choppier and sporadic and scarier as people are jumping around more sporadic. This is also sporadic and irrational, but it's really irrational because people are running into the long side. So in markets like this, I don't short irrational bull markets, just like I don't long irrational bear markets, but I also don't chase a short down here because it's not liquid, but I will always chase a long up here if I have something to long off of. So I don't chase along at the high for damn sure. Yeah, so the idea was just to show that most people are scared of the downside, which means that's just proof that this is all human behavior. So there you go. So I always find any excuse to be a bull. I don't become a bear when market is selling off. I just gracefully sit out, like I'm not buying the dip, not losing money, nothing. Okay, so the 5 checks, ready? 1, irrational market to the downside because of this doomsday band that's fixed every single day. Number 2, a catalyst that moves the market more than 29.5 points Check. We have two irrational signs piled on top of each other. 3 is the VIX. That's nice and stable. 4 and 5 are going to be if you have an SPY hedge pressure break, which we didn't have. We're nice and clean. Number 5 is a UVXY call wall tap at the bottom, 0. So we have two irrational. Look at 10 seconds. I already had 2 signs telling me to sit out. Pretty soon we'll have all 5 of those here. And if one of those lights flag red, you have your irrational mode enabled and you'll have a different way to trade. Do you guys like how fast our platform is right now? Please. Oh my God. Thank you so much, development team. You guys have hit fucking home run after home run after home run. Look, walls auto scale, walls auto scale, walls auto scale, walls auto scale. Oh my God. This is awesome. I am so pumped. I wish today was a day to make some plays. It'd be kind of nice. No load times anymore. Isn't that cool? You guys notice, right? You also can pop out separate instances of Rocket Scooter, guys. And now you got multi-charts. You have multi-charts now. You now can pop out scanner. Multiple instances of the scanner now. The walls indicator is gone. It's the same thing as zones. We do not have a strategy that indicates each of these walls mean anything. The zones indicator is replaced, or the liquidity map zones have replaced walls in general. So, Enrique, just your walls, if they're unique walls, will pop out as zones. How do you open multi-chart? Here's how you go. Okay, ready? Oops. Right here at the top of the screen. If you click this arrow, it'll give you a separate instance of the entire platform. If you click this arrow, it'll give you a separate instance of walls itself. So if you guys want walls, there's no indicator for walls. The walls widget will be where you get your walls from. It was causing confusion over here. So this is awesome as well. Fire, boys and girls, fire. I am stoked. Now, I know, I'm not sure if we save your window layout, which might be a pain in the butt for a little bit, but I'm gonna get right on it and tell him that. Do we save window layouts? So the irrational indicators in the system, we already have 2 of the 5. A hedge pressure break can be flagged. UVXY call wall can be flagged for the alerts. The doomsday, the catalyst, and the VIX all require futures data. That is a longer timeline because we need to get futures data in the platform. We need to get the risk interval programmed into the platform, which means we need to take our web scraping parsing bot server side instead of local, and then create the risk intervals and pull them from the bot and put risk intervals into the platform. So we need futures data, then we need risk interval, and then we can do all 5 of the alerts. So that's a bigger project, as you guys can see. The timeline is as soon as we get window layouts saved, and we get arrows on the chart from liquidity map, the very next step is futures data. What up, Maddie B? Okay, so very, very, very quick, okay? When the market is irrational, oops, I typed that in wrong. Hold on, SPY, not SPOY. Dude, I love this. All right, guys, hit that like button. Let's go. Oops. Let's go, if you guys don't mind. So we are still somewhat bull mode for the long term, but there's a very large drop to 365. So there's no trades today. If I were to make trades, period, here's what I see, right? It's very improbable. So let me put SP resilience on here. Oh yeah, so another thing is you might have to add your resilience back. We made sure that all the names are consistent, SP 500, NASDAQ 100, etc. So another part of the release, add back your S&P resilience to the thing. So an example here is resilience is less than 0, which means half gap is resistance, right? So to me, what I would do today if I were trying to make a day trade is to sell options, 0-day SPY options up here in the bear zone. And I would buy options right here. So this is exactly how I would trade this today. Starting beginning of the year, I'll be doing a live trading challenge as well. So I would sell calls, 390. I would right now buy calls at 384. And I would make this a credit, 2-to-1 credit. Pick how much money you want to make. And I would sell the credit. And if we break through here and resilience goes positive, I would close that leg out of the trade. Does everyone understand how credit spreads work? This example is not trading advice, not investment advice, but that is an example of how I would use rocket scooter in a rational market. I wouldn't bet. So there's a matrix, right? And you can tell yourself these following things. You can say one of two things. You can say, are you a bull, or are you a bear, or are you not a bull, or are you not a bear? So in a rational market, immediately think of the not side. You say you are bull, are bear. This is one of the things, if you guys want to write this matrix down, this is really good, especially for options traders. Are and are not, okay? So in irrational markets, we don't bet directional. We don't try to short directionally. We don't try to long directionally. So if you are a bull, R means long. It's gonna be a different color. R means long. R not means short. Bull means call. Bear means put. Okay, it's plain English. I am a bull today. Am a bull means I expect this. Am a bear, I expect this. Okay, am not a bear, then I don't expect any of that, but I don't understand which direction it's going to go. So not a bear could be flat, up or down, or up. All of that's not a bear. Not a bull is the same way. So when you are something, you just imagine a straight line beelining to it. If you are not, just imagine not doing that. So if I am a bull, I'm going to long a call, right? If you are a bear, you're going to long a put. If you are not a bull, then you're going to sell a call, right? The market's flat or choppy or down and up and down and up and down. None of those are bullish. Same thing of a bear. If the market is up and flat, or up and choppy, or rally and down, like just whatever, right? Or flat on the bull side, then you're not a bear. And so these are very helpful. This little matrix is very helpful for you to take whatever your trade plan in plain English is and figure out how you're going to trade it. So just picking long and picking short is the newbie way to trade. In the modern day, you can understand the power and effect of credit spreads or iron condors. Do I share my track record on trading somewhere? When I do my live trading challenge, not only will I do that, I will share the history of the account, the win rate, the stats all day, every day. I did this last year before when I streamed on YouTube, Real P&L. I did a trading challenge. And okay, if everybody was here for this, remember, who was here for the challenge in YouTube last year, and we stopped to do rocket scooter and do it again. I started for $6,700 and I live traded it on YouTube to $95,000. The very last stream before I said goodbye to go develop the platform was 95,000. My win rate was close to what, 76%, and it was trading just S&P futures. Who was here for this? Just say, hey, some guy, Real P&L is his name. Who witnessed the challenge? Oh yeah. Oh, and I was on a 70 day win streak as well. 70 days. 70 days live streamed on YouTube. Trading futures, where I also didn't lose a day for 70 days. And it was a real account. The account number was on the screen. The total balance is on the screen. Every position I was in and out of was on the screen. And there's a nice little graph that showed the account growth history. And somebody was even like, how do we know that's not all photoshopped? I was like, I will call the CEO of Tradeovate right now and have him verify that this is real. Like, the whole thing was just like, as a transparent, you can be more transparent unless you were sitting here with my fucking accountant and they were showing you my tax records to go with it. So it was real, right? It was really, really real. Oops. So that's where I show it. Like right now, you know, we developed a trading platform over the last 3 years, and now it is released. And so right now I'm demonstrating the platform. Oh, you better believe I'm going to come through and I'm going to knock YouTube on its ass in about 2 weeks. Bo show. Day trading futures. So that's all I'm going to probably do is futures and likely some options, but it would have to be in Thinkorswim, so I can do both, which I hate Thinkorswim. Hey Carl, what's up? Oh yeah, so the answer is yes. So everybody here witnessed that. It was a live futures account challenge. And what I'll do is, if you send me a message, Real P&L in Discord, I'll dig up the broker statement for it, or the P&L or whatever you want to see. So essentially, the last day of YouTube, account was at the high and quit on a high note, and then after that went straight back to Zoom, and we're like, we're doing the platform, and then that's basically it. Yeah, the 70-day win streak was very crazy. As a matter of fact, whatever, I'll show you guys. I'll just pull one of the random YouTube streams right now from the channel. Let me just pull, like, let's go to the videos. Let's just pull up the last. I'll grab it for you. Give me a second. Yeah, most of these people were here. We had thousands of people watching that. That's where the trolls came from, by the way. I saw my early red trolls. People were coming to the stream, like wondering why their stream was losing members, I guess, and ours. And just like one dude got super obsessed with how big we got really quick. And I was like, I'm just trading. And then people just decided to, like, you know how the internet is. Here's the thing, right? I'll tell you something funny. Whenever you're like the trader, I'm just going to pick a random one. Let's see what this one looks like. When you are a trader, oh God, I remember. Let me pick one more. Let me just get like another random one. That one doesn't. Let's just pick this one right here. I'll show you guys really quick. Where's the music? It's archived for sure. It's basically, let me close all of my trading tools down over here and try to make this a little bigger. Yeah, it was like this. We call it the Million Challenge. And again, this is before Rocket Scooter. So this is like when I had the smaller app and resilience was built on a local machine. This is my account with Tradeovate. This was the P&L of the day. This is the net liquidity. This is the account number right here. It's all archived for historical purposes for sure. But also, Yeah, like the early state, like a lot of our indicators, like resilience, we used to test and talk about it live, like how we built it, what went into it. And so before things went to the platform, they were all local apps that we wrote, and we would demonstrate it and like talk about it live. So yeah, do you guys remember this on the stream? How remember it used to look like this? Oh my God. Old school, right? So this is way before we built Rocket Scooter's full platform. So yeah, you would see exactly this: active positions, open and close, account number to show that it's real, V0072. Trader 8 would say the word demo if it wasn't. This at this random point in time, it was $70,766. We started with $6,700 at the beginning, and then I always would post the stats afterwards. Does this bring you guys back to the old days? Oh my God. This is what a programmer looks like at night or in the morning. Didn't shave. There's my glasses. A little lazy here. This is where I found the gym. You can relate about trolls just came in. Well, this is what happens to the internet. It's like people just, and I found this is one of my favorite things about life is that you learn very quickly. Is that if I learned anything from video games is when you're walking in the open world and you encounter enemies, you're going in the right direction. So never be discouraged. Hang in there. Do I trade futures and market open hours? Yeah, I will. That's what I will be doing. So back to the credit spread. So the idea is that the way I would trade this is, number one is the market's down here. I'm not bullish. Okay. Not bullish. I'm selling a call. Okay, so I'll just sell a call. As long as we don't pass 390, I made all that money today. Now, I don't want to just naked sell a call. I want to make sure that in case it does become bullish spontaneously from a catalyst or something, then I myself want to be long just in case. So I look right here on the liquidity map, and on the liquidity map, does anybody remember the final win rate on my last YouTube day? Equal parts of Dungeons and Dragons and Socrates. I love it. It was in the 70s. I just don't remember the exact number. I didn't trade most days. I waited most days. And the streak was really funny because like every day on the streak, people were coming in there trying to just throw a wrench. It's like when you're doing great, the funny thing was like the streak started attracting people. And after like day 5, I was like, okay, you know, day 5 of a streak. I'm like, wow, that's crazy. Day 10, day 20, and everybody was like, this can't be real. And how can you be on a streak this long? I'm like, I don't know. I'm just getting lucky every day, right? Let me see if I can find day 70 of the streak because we tried to number all the streams. Wow, this is memory lane, guys, right? Oh yeah, we're archived because somebody tried to steal resilience and copy it and publish something that said they stole it. So you know, we had to hide those portions that had all that resilience talk in it. So we had people actually literally trying to steal what we had made. That was really sad. So unfortunately they are archived. Here we go. Here's day 70 of the streak. So it was like here. So every single day it was the streak. And we would say day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5. And it did just publish the streak. And so every morning I would actually get up and then copy and cut and paste this on the chart. Like this is just a graphic that was on my encoder. Came to be like too much. I just told people at the end of the day, I'll just drop the broker statement in the Discord, made it much faster. And it was like less memory on the screen. But for like the first 70 days of the streak, I mean, I just showed every day's account growth. And again, scalping futures account number, there's the thing. And it was like day 6, day 7, day 8. By day 10, there was like double the size of the stream. And people were there like, what's going on? Who is this guy we've never heard of? Why you're on our turf, bro? Like, I'm just like, I don't know. Just me and some guy, you know, been doing this thing for a while, and then here we go. And it was just weird. And then how far back? It was like a couple years ago, yeah. When was this? 20. When was it, guys? Was it like 2021 maybe? It was 2020 until like 2021 or something like that, somewhere in there, a couple years back. And then so like we had all of our, like this, you guys see Classic app right here, right? So Classic app, we basically spent the last couple of years taking our apps that we had built, all these small little applets, and then combining them into our platform. And that was just a full-time job at that point. Anyways, yeah. So does that satisfy your curiosity, real P&L? Because there were thousands of people there for it, and most of them are here right now. Can confirm I was there. That's the reason I joined. I love you guys. Alex, TRS, my boys. Yeah, so people were there watching it. Every day it got crazier. Like there were days when I'd be down like $1,000 and I'd somehow rescue it and turn it to $12 profit and be like, oh my God, the streak continues. We had a lot of fun with it. And I was very transparent when I would, and then once the streak was over, it was like a normal win and loss rate. I just got hella lucky for those 3.5 months. I mean, 70 days is 3.5 months. Every day was a non-losing day. And it was just luck, right? Of course. I mean, somewhat decent skill, I hope, but also luck, right? I got dealt some really good hands sometimes. But it was mostly about manipulating my cost basis and exiting properly and knowing when to hold, when to fold, right? Trust me when I say that's not normal. That's absolutely abnormal. It's going on a massive win streak. When after 5, I was like, holy crap, guys, I'm like a 5-day winning streak. This is crazy. So when it kept going, it was like surreal, and it almost became a psychological nightmare because as a trader, you don't want to be in that boat. I started trading to preserve the streak, and that's not at all healthy, right? I became a little bitch. I became very cautious. I would do anything I could to like let that streak continue, and that is not how you should trade. And I learned a valuable lesson from that. And that was psychologically, right? You don't want to believe that you can't lose and feel invincible and things like that. That is a horrible slippery slope to be in, and be fearless. Don't be fearless ever. Brian remembers. Brian told my real life friends the pressure at the end, God, was like so crazy. I was just like completely overwhelmed. I think like the day after, I was like, I was also developing Rocket Scooter, and so I was like, guys, I think I got on like a Zoom call with everybody, and I'm like crying. Here I'm like winning and killing it in the market. I'm like breakdown from all the members. I'm like, guys, I just can't do this anymore. There's trolls everywhere. Stream is growing. We've like quadrupled in size. The business is exploding. Rocket Scooter, I'm developing that. I'm not sleeping. I'm like, I just can't do this anymore. I gotta cut off. And everybody's like, no, get off of YouTube, Matt. Just take it easy. Take it easy. You guys remember, dude? I'm fucking like crying, like on Zoom, because it was like just overwhelming pressure. It's crazy, right? It was good pressure, and still I can handle. Brian remembers. Remember the pressure too? It was intense. Steve, remember that? Yeah, I was just like, I can't do this anymore, guys. And that's it. Digging. Oh yeah. Okay, so credit spreads. You guys ready? Let's get back to it. So I will share my account starting in Jan. I don't understand what you mean. You want to see my stats for that particular period of time for that trading challenge? Yeah, sure. No problem. Zero hesitation. I will send you a screenshot of everything from that challenge. From the very first day to the very last stream. Is that cool? Real P&L? Is that what you want? Wherever it started. It didn't start in January. Wherever it started. From day 1 till day end. Yeah, I'm going to start at the beginning of the year trading futures and options together. Yeah. So back to the credit spread. Okay. So the idea is I would be not bullish because the market is not bullish. When markets are irrational, I tend to not want to be directional. So this is one thing to take away. When markets are irrational, don't be directional. Y'all got it? This is like a little, when markets are irrational, don't be directional. So directional, it's here. Okay, so I'm gonna just really quickly. So does everybody understand what a credit spread is? I say that I sell enough calls that they expire worthless, I make $2,000. And I spend 1,000 of that on these calls, which means I net $1,000. If this option expires, I spend $2,000 on these. That's not. Right, spend $2,000. Spend $1,000. So I not spend $2,000, but like I make, when this expires, it'll be $2,000 of credit by selling the put. Somebody bought this for me, I made $2,000. I took the $2,000, and this is when you close, obviously, at expiration. Of those $2,000, I spent $1,000 on the calls. So I made a 2-to-1 credit. I'm netting $1,000. If these expire worthless, I made $1,000. Now the thing is that if the market becomes bullish on a hedge pressure break, we all know that's like a very, very, very slim chance, and that has to happen for this to happen. So just to cover the contingency of the slim chance, that's why I bought calls here. Just in case it does rally, then I'm okay. Right, okay. So the only thing I don't want to do is hold these if they go in the money. But these will cover me and give me higher delta than these will as it's rallying. This will give me a high % loss though if we do go. So if you break through hedge pressure, you just close out that wing of the leg. And now you're long calls on a gamma squeeze, which is where you want to be, directional, because the market will be rational at that point when that happens, right? You're back to normal inside of that band of the S&P, right? So if you become rational and directional, just close out the part that you use as contingency to be non-directional, and that's how that works. In my trading challenge, I will share my live account results in 2023. Absolutely, 100%. Real P&L, dude, I'm telling you, listen to everybody here. There has never been anyone that's been a tenth the transparency of what I brought to the table. Everyone here is screaming at you to shut up. We love you. We did everything right. I literally was like, I actually said, you guys want me to get my accountant on the phone really quick, when somebody still didn't believe it. It's very weird, I know, because everyone out there is like a song and dance pony that just pretends to trade. Everything will be shown. I'll let you sit here with your fucking hand in my pocket if you want, and you know, like, oh, not literally, but like with your hand on my shoulder, like literally, if you want to sit, if you want to pull up a chair and hang out while I do it. It is 100% real, bro. The real deal here. Promise, promise, promise. The entire time. It never, oh, the other thing was it never leaves the screen. My platform would never leave the screen. That was the other thing. It was never like, oops, I lost power, guys, while I'm losing a trade. Oh, there goes. And I secretly entered exit position. No, never left the screen. We had these strict rules to literally overwhelmingly prove to people it was real. Literally overwhelming. Brian, come over and bring some whiskey, bro. Let's do it. But yeah, so in 2023, when we do that 100%, you gotta stop interrupting the stream with that. I can only tell you we're real at 10,000 ways. If I crash and burn that account to zero, you guys can watch it too and we'll cry together. The best part. Any more questions? Real P&L? Real P&L? Cool. All right, love you guys. Let's go. Hey, what's up, Kobe? How you doing, buddy? Thanks for the live stream and answering questions. With the idea today was SPY, be looking for price to retest hedge pressure half gap level. Okay, so come the answers here. Okay, resilience is telling me this following thing. So yeah, resilience is telling me that half gap is resistance. If this is less than zero, then this is resistance right there. That's what that's telling me. So first and foremost, the answer is there. We don't look for it to retest. We just know that that is where resistance will be. And today, bear short up, we know that hedge pressure is resistance as well. Okay, so you have two reasons for there to be resistance. And then also on top of that, you have two rational signals, which tell me that I'm not going to be directional bearish or bullish, that it could test hedge pressure. And if it gets here and here, and resilience is less than 0, I would short from there to be directional. But right down here, I'm not chasing any short. It's a great question. I love it. So with the resilience being negative doesn't mean buy or sell. It means S&P will not fill its gap to the upside. So the S&P closes its gap here. This was yesterday's close. I'm presuming where these dashed lines are. S&P closed here yesterday, and it opened here today. You're outside of what we call the redistribution zone, where you in the gap area, right? So you're outside of that, and resilience is less than 0. So at best, what we actually hope for is that the best up when you're outside of the zone. There's two rules for resilience. The first one is if resilience is less than 0. Sorry, the first rule is, are you inside or outside of that gap? So the gap is between open and close. You guys understand that so far? It's hard to find anyone that actually shares P&L. Yeah. I wouldn't say it's rare. I'd say I'm the only one who's ever done it on YouTube that I've ever seen. I've asked people for years, is there anyone else out there that's like me, that's done this? And everyone's like, oh, I've done it. And then you ask for their P&L and they send you like 3 days worth of trading. And they're like, see, I'm a real trader, bro. And then you're like, listen, 3 days. Show me your year. I don't have to show you anything. And that's really what it's like. I've always asked for people to show me the same thing. I always told people, like, I would love to give you a job to work on my team if you could prove to me you're a real trader. I will pay you a fucking salary to join Rocket Scooter and educate people. I'll give you a 6-figure salary for you to teach people how to trade. And nobody has ever risen to that challenge, ever. In 6 years of me doing this. And I'm not saying I'm like the world's best trader. I like to tell people I'm remarkably average. I'm okay. I don't even go out there and brag. So I'm like, I'm okay. I'm okay. I win some, I lose some. There's years where I lose money. There's years when I make money. Growing through this challenge. It's the last 10 years I've been trading. Been up, been down. And I say just watch for yourself. If you like what you see, okay. Yeah. It's hard to find anyone. It's impossible to find anyone. I've never done it. I've never found one person on YouTube, on Twitter, on anywhere who's ever showed me anything historic greater than a month. Never, not once that I can remember. Or greater than 2 or 3 months or whatever. Something teeny tiny. They're 50-year trading history and they're like, here's a 3-month window of look at this, I made $50,000. And you're like, yeah, I know. I've had days where I've made $100,000. Let me show you that too, like a single day. As a matter of fact, people were here, what was it, like 3 weeks ago in October, and there was a $70,000 trade I made in one day. And that was all showed. But the thing is like, you can't just show one day or 3 days, right? I agree with you 100%. It's like trading version, insta famous, easier to fake it so you make it, trick others to pay to be like you. Yeah, and so we're not like, and that's why we don't have a trade room and I don't do call outs. I don't tell people where to buy and sell. We, like, people see that we have a Discord and they're like, oh, you're like a trader. I'm like, we're a trading platform, you know, put us next to Tasty Trade. We'll be there one day. I just demonstrate using the platform while I trade. That we are a set of trading tools. Like, so even so, the only reason I trade is to show that I'm trading real money. Like, that's the whole point. Hey, that's me. You do it. LOL. So back to what we're saying. Okay, let's get back to this thing. Okay, so we have a video called Trading the Redistribution Zone. Anytime the SPY gaps down or gaps up, it's called redistribution. Inside of the close, like if you have a gap down, right, there's a share imbalance from one day to the next. Inside of the open and close band, which is what I'm showing here, it's called the redistribution zone. Inside of the redistribution zone, market makers will find buyers and sellers at the open and close. When resilience is negative, half gap, which is the middle of that zone, is resistance. When the resilience is positive, it's support. There's arbitrage opportunity. If the S&P is like right in here and resilience goes positive, then there's a scalp for it to fill the gap. Very consistent. Outside of the redistribution zone, if resilience is negative, however, it's not going to interact with half gap. We don't expect it to. Instead, the bottom band of that zone is resistance. And that's part 2, and that video covers that. So just repeating, let's just clear the screen. So you have two conditions. One, redistribution in, two, redistribution out. What's the redistribution? Is anytime the S&P gap, on a daily basis, you're going to look at the gap. Okay, we closed yesterday here. We opened yesterday here. Are we on the same page really quick? There's some I don't understand if you don't understand. So open, close, redistributing. So if you're inside the redistribution zone, I'm just going to do it with a green color. Res less than 0 to close the gap. Res greater than 0, you close it. So if you're like trading, if you're trading like right in here and resilience goes positive, then there's a scalp that's that long. If you're trading like if you have bought the dip and the market's rallying and rallying, rallying, all of a sudden resilience drops below 0, then you're expecting that to happen. So maybe you can get in lower or get out of your long before it drops. This leads the S&P because this is arbitrage of the stocks themselves moving first. So inside the band, that's how you do it. You pivot half gap to open and close. It's one of my favorite tricks when I do the live trading futures challenge. You'll see me scalp that band all day long. Number 2, outside the redistribution zone. This is outside of redistribution, which is like, what you guys collectively have always called like gap and go, right? Gap and go, right? Gap and go. We just give it a more appropriate name. Gap and go. Oh, you share your P&L. Oh, I thought you said you're the person that takes a snapshot of your $100,000 win. That's awesome. If you do, we're best friends, like for sure. I always love meeting people that actually trade and aren't willing to show their loss, or aren't afraid to show their losses and stuff. People here have watched me have spectacular losing days. Trust me on that. People here in the history of Rocket Scooter way back in the day, 2015, 2016, have watched me blowing up small futures accounts plenty of times live on stream. And we never were like, let's cover this up or let's hide this. It was like, okay, guys, let's have a meeting. What did we learn from this? How can I shape my technique to be better? And there's a reason we just grew to thousands of members, right? We have like 3,700 people now. As we just don't play that same guru song and dance everyone does. A strategy channel Discord summarizes these ideas. Yeah, it would be. And we're trying to compartmentalize and organize most of this. So the gap and go situation is if resilience is less than 0, the gap and go stays. If resilience is greater than 0, then the gap and go stays. So we gap down and resilience is less than 0. It is a gap and go to the downside. So that's why I am not bullish. Do we all understand? So all day long, if right at the door, resilience is 0 and you gap down, resilience is less than 0, right out the door, I would sell calls right here, which is exactly the first thing I said the minute you guys walked into the stream. Is that correct? Do you understand why I would sell calls? The gap and go is strong because we gapped. The stocks also gapped and are collapsing. The S&P has no mechanism to rally. I'd be collecting theta every minute of the day. When Matt used to dig out of a 10K loss. Oh, Jesus. I remember those days. Stan was here at the earlier days of the stream as well. I would dig in and dig out of some big losses. I miss day trading and scalping futures. I do on the stream. We've been teaching like more technical mechanics here of the platform since we started release the platform. So do we understand resilience so far? Questions? Does that answer your question, Kobe? So all resilience either does is inside of the range, you can pivot from open to close. If you're outside of the range, it confirms the gap and go. So as long as this is negative and stays below half gap, then the S&P today at the highest, I expect this to be there. So that's why I don't buy the dip, which that was the correct choice. You guys watched that live, so I'm not buying anything. Market's irrational. And the maximum upside I expect is here under the case that res is less than 0, and that will be consistent for the day. So because I expect a little bit of upside, I need to sell my calls way outside of that band on the other side of the coin. If we closed here and open here, then certainly it'd be very, very, very rare for this to not only go back into this zone, but also to go and fill the gap and be rallying and go through this bull zone and go through this bear zone. So let me sell my calls way up here. Do I trade the mini Nasdaq? Absolutely. I trade the Nasdaq and the S&P. Do we all understand why I choose to sell calls here? The probability of going from here to here is practically negligent, right? And not only that, the probability of filling the gap would be even further negligent. And the probability of breaking through and being bullish in the bear zone would be triple negligible. Like 1/10 of a percent of 1/10 of a percent of 1/10 of like tiny, very, very, very low probability. And I would start out thinking about the market like that. So the idea is not just picking direction. What traders are going to learn, and this is the new wave of teaching traders, is that how you trade is more important than picking direction. The first thing you have to do is, do I pick a direction? Do I long or short? But when markets open in an irrational, unpredictable manner, you know how I know it's irrational? You see this right here? Does everybody see that? All that volume is just like sporadically all over the place. That's what irrational is. That's actually physical definition of that. Like it's not really like a clean volume distribution. Like normally volume is like clean, right? Over the course of a day. Right? So it's not clean. It's just spiking all over the place. When I say irrational, that's what it is. It's people in margin calls and just getting out of positions and stuff. Okay, that's how you analyze this today. And so what my opening call today was, remember what I told people? I would buy calls for a hedge pressure break. Oops. So my opening trade would have been long calls there had I been trading. It's all calls there. Pick how much money I want to make, establish credit. If this goes in the money, close that out and just ride the long. Or you can hold both of it. As long as this expires out of the money, it expires worthless. But, you know, it's still going to gain some delta. It'll decay rapidly at the end of the day. This would be 0 day. This would be 0 day as well. That's it. So that's how I trade for credit spreads. Okay. Questions? All right, let's move forward. Okay, check it out, guys. Look at this. Multiple scanners. All right. So I got my liquidity map bullish, which I need to make a note on this too. So just as like little things I want to tell them to improve upon. So I'm going to tell him that like I need to actually show right here what I picked. Right, because I can't see what I picked without clicking that box. So I'm a little modification. You guys have quickly today, if you have any notes. Let me get him in the stream here really quick. Yeah, if you guys like what you see, feel free to join our Discord. The link in the bio if you want to check out the platform as well and learn the trading style. We'll have coaching sessions all day today on this. And hit me up later, Real P&L. What was your name again? I think you're one of Norm's friends. He was telling me, he's like, I met a bunch of my friends out there and told him about Rocket Scooter and what you guys are doing. It's oh cool. Yeah, so if you're one of Norm's friends, he spoke highly of a bunch of y'all. Give me a list of some peeps he knew. Do you usually wait for the retest of the hedge pressure line? If I were to long the market, Kobe, I long because something happens, not because I want something to happen in this environment. So I always long off of a pivot. So in a bear short up, let me show you. What you do is when liquidity map is active, you get the little guidebook here, and this tells me where liquidity will be, right? I need the market to, on this, I find these letters, BR, S, and U, and I match them down here, BR, S, and U. It's telling me I expect the market to, at best, hook at blue and pivot down. And look, hook at blue and pivot down, right? So it's doing what the algorithm is showing me to expect. It doesn't mean it predicts that, but it means that I'm not longing anywhere but off of that yellow back to blue, right? I only long at the tail of the arrow. So not only do I sit out because the market's hella irrational, that yellow is way down here, and I'm definitely not longing anything, and it's not going to get there today. It's very impossible to see the S&P fall there today. It could happen, but in all honesty, I wouldn't buy that dip. So because it's just drifting lower, I'm not a bull until number 2. Do you see that so far, Kobe? How many trades do I get or take in a week? It depends. When I'm trading futures, it can be anywhere. Particular contracts, a couple hundred contracts a week, give or take. Maybe 5 to 10 to 50 a day on a crazy day. It just depends. A couple hundred a week, about 1,000 to 2,000 a month. That's day trading though. When I say contract, imagine I buy 20 micros, right? That's 20. That counts as 20. So 50, if I'm trading minis and micros, could be like 3 or 4 entries and exits. Enter, exit. A slow day could be between like 5 and 10. Like I get in 2, I get in 3 more, I exit all 5. That would be 10. So roughly 1 or 2 to maybe 5 round trips a day. Usually 1 a day, a lot of times 0 a day. So it's like, I don't overtrade. That's actually a lot less. Oh, you're Carl. Okay, nice to meet you, Carl. What was my win rate? I don't know, guys. Do you remember my win rate of the challenge the last challenge I did on YouTube? Thinkorswim doesn't show you your win rate, unfortunately, and I don't think Webull shows your overall win rate as well. In the futures account, it was 75 or 76%, something like that. In the 70s. For just S&P and NASDAQ futures for the course of the year, whatever it was. If y'all, I'll pop it up later. We'll do like a private Zoom session with everybody. I'll actually pull it up and show it to y'all. Okay. It was 70 something. That's a couple years ago, so I can't remember all of it, but the last... It's already almost 2023. Time has flown by. Bear short up here. Bear short up is here, right? So do you understand, Kobe? Is that, do I wait for the retest of hedge pressure? If I wanted to short, the answer to your question is there is a short off of that number here. Now, the trade has already pretty much taken place. I wouldn't double up on it happening again. Once they hit that pivot and once the market reacts, I only count it one time. So out the door, if you had that bear short up and you wanted to be directional and take that coin flip, irrational markets are coin flip. The answer was the most appropriate move is resistance against blue to yellow, and there's your resistance against blue to yellow. These numbers are printed on the chart once a day at the beginning of the day. What we do that nobody's done ever before is we actually can show you where market maker options are to split the actual market into real bulls and real bears who they're trading against. So this is the real bull and bears, and this is the hedging of people that sold options to the market makers. So hedge pressure is just a natural resistance below and natural support above. It's a big, massive pivot against it. So when you add like bearishness and short hedging, you can add all those pressures together, and this is why we call it hedge pressure. It's just the name that we came up with as engineers. Pressure's a cool name, and it's actually what it is. You have the net force of bears as well as short hedging together. So you're going to have, well, a little bit of upside. It's going to hit this kind of wave of down, and it's like, you can see it right there. Oh, shit, my bad. Oops, my bad. I keep forgetting I switched the screen. Right here. So when I pull up bear short up, thank you for telling me. Bear short up is telling me that I'm expecting a little bit of... so what I do is I load up liquidity map, my bad. And it gives me a series of letters. It tells me on the bear side of the market, which we are bear. It tells me we're on the short side of hedge pressure, which we are on the short side of hedge pressure. Long would be above. And up just tells me that the hedge pressure is above monthly, oriented like that. So at the beginning of the day, 9:30, we get this calculation, and these levels stay anchored all day long. This is the real bull side of the market. This is the real bear side of the market. This is real bulls. These are illiquid zones where there were bulls and bears trading against market makers. That's it. They're the one, market makers bought these options, and we are able to find those options in the options order flow, in the options data, and ignore options that are traded between like trader and trader. Our technology pulls out just what we believe belong to market makers. They follow a specific set of rules. We know what those rules are. We mathematically derive them. Like I said, we're a team of engineers with engineering degrees. We were math nerds deluxe here, and programmers and all kind of fun stuff. So what you'll see is on the beginning of the day, bear short up means we're opening on the bear side of the market, short side of hedge pressure, and this blue line is above the yellow line is the U. The three letters together, it's like you're pushing a block up a ramp, you're pushing a block sideways a ramp, there's wind blowing it to the left. What's the net sum of all those vectors? Does the block go up or down the ramp? It's just like basic physics. So you have bearish positioning, well, it's certain pressure there. You have short hedging, certain pressure. So what I know is that I look for longs off of that yellow to blue, but you can see that's really far away. So there's no long option for me today. Assume that I woke up and market was rational and I want to trade. In irrational markets, I don't try to scalp, but even so, these still can pivot, right? So there is no long leg today anywhere, and appropriately so, right? If I did want to short, I would short off of blue back towards yellow. So there's a reward and a risk I can set, so off of blue towards yellow. But again, because it's irrational, I didn't chase that short. I don't do any short trading or long trading when it's irrational to the downside. It's in Discord. It's in the description of this video. So the idea is that, man, this is highly energetic. I picked like no copyright. Let's do like no copyright, chill hop. Like lo-fi chill hop. Let's see if this is cool. I love like lo-fi music when I'm trading. That was like super energetic. I kind of feel like I should go to a club. Like I'm just like, okay, I'm a little over that right now. Put on some vaporwave. Oh yeah, let's turn this up. Do y'all like my? Do y'all like my Skrillex? Okay, Jod, are you here? I'm gonna walk him through, and I want you guys to type in some things that you're noticing about the scanner. You want to change? We get Jod here really quick. Like I'm just like, okay, no thanks, not today. So does everybody understand how I use liquidity map to find my pivots? So today, there's just no trade day today, right? There's nothing to say. But I also know that if I did want to long, where there are no arrows, a long breakout here would change that S to an L, which would look like that. You can see that if you flip to the other side of this hedge pressure, it becomes bear, long, and up, and those would change. I would know that there is a particular rapid run from there. All right, so back to the scanner. Let's wait till the gets here. Okay, top left. If you guys have thoughts on the scanner, you think Elon held that Tesla poll just so that he can get out, or he could like avoid SEC scrutiny for stepping down, like he was manipulating the market? If you guys tell me to step down from Twitter, I'll step down. He knows the answer, and he can say, I did what the public wanted. They voted me out, so I walked away. This is democracy at its finest. And of course, he'd short or long before that happens. What a smart guy. What a smart guy, right? The whole reason to hold a poll is that you can remove your own accountability. I love it. Okay, let's go through some things on the scanner. Okay. Jod, are you here? Okay. All right, Jod. Sorry. Okay, here's one of the things I want you to see. Okay, so one of the things we'll do as using the scanner is I would want to arrange the screen like in vertical bars like that, so that I can actually make it as thin as possible for some things. Like if I just want to scan for one thing, like hedge pressure breaker down. So you can see how I can make this smaller, and that left side, these just get covered up. So this can't happen. So essentially I want the left side locked. An example is, you saw input is scooting over. I don't want that. I want input and strategy to no longer overlap, and I want input and strategy to be left justified. That way there's no wasted space right here. I want input left justified with the like one space. Strategy, just like strategy is left justified, I want input the same way. And I want input to not scoot over either. I want input and strategy to be fixed. To save space, John, I want the plus sign somewhere else. Maybe underneath. Or appropriately so down here. If I were actually to make a choice. Guys, vote really quick. Can we put that plus sign underneath here? That's more intuitive. Because you're adding it to the list. Put it right here. Save a little bit more real estate. Plus sign here. Click it. Same effect. Input left justified. And I want, when I change the window size, I want just the inputs frozen. And I also want to be able to resize them just like you can the outputs. You can resize the outputs, that's fine. So I want to be able to resize these as well and left justified. I'm going to save all that space. That way when I make this really small, it doesn't overlap the input. The input can never be overlapped because that is what is telling me what's on the right side. If I do it like this, which is really cool, like if I make it really small and I actually want to do it like that, which is nice to make it even thinner, the results below, freeze the pane up here, just like you would in Excel. So some people might have more screen space. They'd want it like that sideways. But also, if you were to make it small enough, I want the view to flip such that it's just like an Excel sheet. And this is like all frozen pane. So if I were like to scroll down, it doesn't lose this right up here. So like this is like a frozen pane. You know what I mean when I say freeze panes? Like you lock this in view and then I'm scrolling just through the list. And also intuitively, I'd want the list results to be sequentially numbered if possible. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, so that I know I'm scrolled down in the middle of the list somewhere, not at the top. Like ticker result number or something like that. Or something that shows I'm not at the top intuitively. Like if I'm like looking and I accidentally scroll down, I'd have no idea, no way of knowing that that's not the top of the list. So you don't want to lose that top. And so when you're freezing these panes here, like you're freezing this in the window and I scroll, right? I lose my frame of reference to know that I'm at the top. Like here, I wouldn't know if I'm at the top or the bottom of the list. Like right there, I could accidentally mouse wheel and I can be like, ooh, there's a signal. I can get this guy, but I wouldn't know that I'm in the middle of the list. We need some intuitive way to do that. So those are the only notes that I have to take. And another thing is on liquidity map. If I choose my inputs, right, all these 4 inputs right here, I have no way of knowing which inputs I chose. So again, with your strategies that you pick, these things should also be left justified, not centering. If this is left justified, left justify this with a couple extra spaces so that it does indent. But also underneath liquidity map, a couple more spaces and then list the things that you choose. Any input to one of the sub strategies or like a sub strategy needs to be reiterated underneath the category that you've chosen. So if it's liquidity map current and I pick these 4, it needs to display these 4 here. So as I'm referencing multiple charts or multiple windows, I will know that I've chosen, oh, these are my bull ones. Okay. These are my bear ones. Oh, okay. Because that like intuitively, I wouldn't be able to tell the difference. And that's basically anybody here have any more notes to take. The last one I'd say is the plus sign being all the way over here, right? It disappears from the screen. So while strategies, like I say intuitively, I'd want the plus sign to be below here. The plus sign leaves the screen when I do that. So I'd have to like undo the screen and redo the screen to add strategies. I don't like that idea. So The plus sign for parameters should be either to the left or somewhere over here. Like I would say, like right here, like a tiny little, maybe this guy right here. Like a tiny little thing like that. This at the front. You guys like those ideas or don't like those ideas? Audience. Any other suggestions for scanner, for layout? Oh, and the last thing, Amjad, is if I were to organize my screen like this, right? I don't want to remake my scanner every morning and remake my window layout. As part of the user settings, I will want the platform to remember my window layout. So save window layout. It's one of the things you and I talked about with the overall platform settings. So if I choose like strategy, hedge pressure breakup, hedge pressure breakdown, for an example. And that's one of my strategies that I just have permanently here. See, what sucks is, as I'm closing this, I can't make them small. This is when so if whatever layout I have, if I were to close Rocket Scooter down and open it back up, like save window layout. So if we go to like the, here, like in our platform side, top side here, like save layout will remember what I had. Like if I had minimized walls, it would remember that I had walls minimized. If I had 5 scanners open and spread all over here, it would remember that and remember which window I assign it to through Windows. So I don't have to remake this every morning. It would remember what strategies I chose for each window and lay them out that way. So that's it. I'll recap. If you get anybody else here, anything you want me to send for the modification, any bugs or something, quick while he's here. Okay. By the way, this is gorgeous. Like everybody loves. Guys, give Amjad some props on this development. I love what we have. I am super stoked to see. So now I have one for my HP breakups, my HP breakdowns. Like love. Now I have my breakouts to the upside, my breakouts to the downside. You open multiple scanners by going to the Rocket Scooter main window and go down to scanner. There's a little click button here that will pop out a version of the scanner. That's it. Okay. Any questions you guys have? Clicking it opens the app, not a new scanner. Okay. This opens the app again. This opens a new scanner. Oh, and lastly, by default. I don't like this feature of it, removing it. There you go. Clicking it opens the app, not a new scanner. Refresh your platform then. Maybe you didn't refresh your platform since the update. You might need to refresh. You and I are both working the same. Refresh, yeah, refresh your platform. So yours and mine should be the, I mean, that's browser, so we're not, there's no way it will not work on yours and not work on mine unless you didn't refresh or there's an issue with a certain browser. What browser are you using? We'll just double check. I don't have a special version. I've got the same one you guys have, so let me know. I love this. Okay, so let's see how this works, right? If I were to pick... Oh, and lastly, 7. Lastly, when I click a ticker in the popped out scanner, it doesn't bring it up on the chart. It should. It should open a and this will go into a bigger project, but like when I click on the scanner, I love this. When I click on a scanner, if you're like Chewy is on the list, right? If I click it, it doesn't bring up anything. Normally on the main platform, it connects with the chart. So the question would be like, if I click Chewy, do I want a separate chart to pop up, or do I want to have it pop up on the main chart, which would be here? So first of all, the main chart, we can do like the chart linking later. So if I click the first ticker on a list, this scanner can be assigned to like chart window 1, chart window 2. So I can have like the scanner going to a certain set of charts and I can just thumb through them that way. Well, that's a lot of settings though down the road. What, Okay. Oh, wait, a couple more things. But in all honesty, dude, I'm in love. I love this so much. This is great. As it is, this is like a huge up. Like I'm so excited to see this. Are you guys liking the new stuff? I mean, it's like we're making it as fast as we can, but God, there's so much cool stuff just popping on. Every day it's like brand new additions. Everything, the platform's running faster and smoother. I mean, that to me was like the biggest. Like what's today, my birthday? Can go to risk interval level again, or is it random? It's random. And can it go there again? Yes, but after a day like this, I don't bet that it does. So it's actually really chill, relaxing, you know, irrational day, very predictable, easy to see that was going to happen, and then not really going too heavy into trying to make any bigger decisions. So my trade idea today would have been to sell vertical call spread, and that was the correct answer. That trade, hypothetically, I didn't do anything today, would be profiting as designed. Okay. I do like this though. I like this a whole lot. So right now I'm getting used to playing with my scanner settings. You guys want to watch me do this? Like trying to see what I'd want to effectively see for these different setups here, like hedge pressure break strategies, breakups, breakdowns, right? So we can see like which ones break up and break down. So breakout trades, right? So these are the breakdowns. These are ones that are just now falling on the breakdown schedule. These are breakup trades. So these are, again, I'll put volume on there so you can see if these are like low cap or volume and price. Oh. 9. Nine is going to be that's another thing I want to make a note of. Price. What happened to VIX MHP overnight? Well, if you look at VIX monthly options, there's a massive 22,000 UVXY call position at the 75 strike. 75 on UVXY that skewed the data. It was it very much was a present data. And we have monthly interest rate on VIX. Can you believe that? 75 strike. That skewed monthly hedge pressure estimates overnight really big. The overnight estimate is only an estimate. But the real monthly hedge pressure comes through this morning at 7. So you have to look at the estimate with a grain of salt. But even though in the overnight session, it's just not an actionable target. I mean, guaranteed you had like a down condition that night. And so, yeah, it was very high. But if you look at the options ladder for UVXY at 75 strike calls, there's a massive position. It was the second largest position in existence for this entire ticker. 21,000 calls at that strike. Now, they're way out of the money. They probably paid a penny for them. It's likely manipulation or some kind of something. But 20,000 calls for a penny of a stock, I mean, you're talking like somebody spent 20 grand on that position, you know? What they hope to achieve from it? Who knows? For a month out, I mean, those things are guaranteed to expire worthless unless they are transferring or laundering or moving money and hiding money and doing something. Who knows the purpose of burying $20,000 into an option that's worth 1 penny only to retrieve that $20,000 later. Actually, you won't be able to. You'll lose it against the bid-ask spread. So essentially, you need the option to jump 100% in value for you to be able to get out flat if you sell it across the bid. I don't know what's going on there. Whether it's a fat finger trade or whether there's some kind of underlying dirty mechanics going on, it was enough to skew the overnight hedge pressure enough, right? Our algorithm sees that and goes, that is a trade against a market maker, 100%. There is no trader on the other side of that trade, is there? No, there's one person doing one crazy thing like that. It's a dealer on the other side. So clearly, as our algorithm picks up dealer-only trades against the market, that's clearly one of them. So yeah, our monthly hedge pressure for VX futures was at like 150 estimate, which is ridiculous, right? But then again, also we did run today $1.25 on VIX, so somebody could know something, right? Ideally, it was UVXY, and we use UVXY instead of VIX as a trick, and we use SPY instead of SPX. There's a trick. The reason why in Rocket Scooter we use ETFs in their positions, because anything that is a share settled instrument, like a basket, or anything that tracks like UVXY options settle in UVXY shares. SPY options settle in SPY shares, right? SPX and VIX settle in cash. There's no underlying hedging or acquisition of shares. You're just, those options are essentially a swap. It's a swap of a cash flow from a winner to a losing trader, or from a losing trader to a winner. So dealers, like in, for instance, VIX options, they can't go out there and long and short VIX. VIX is not an instrument to trade VIX. It's not an instrument, it's just an equation. So to trade VIX in some derivative to hedge the exposure they have in like VIX options, they trade VIX futures to establish the cash flow as VIX futures, again, settle in cash. So they trade VIX futures to have a cash settlement so that they can have the cash available to establish the cash settlement of the VIX option. So long-winded answer, UVXY settles in shares. So if it goes in or out of the money, market makers are going to buy UVXY and sell UVXY shares to have those shares available so that if they're exercised on, they can just hand the shares over. If they're buying and selling VIX options, then they're going to be trading VIX futures to hedge, which again will settle in cash, and they just have the cash to pay whichever winner it is on the other side of the trade. So instruments that settle in shares are much, much, much better at finding pivots than instruments that settle in cash, because you're looking for people to buy those shares at that level. And you're looking to trade by looking at volume spikes SPX has no volume spikes, right? You're not trading SPX. VIX has no volume spikes. You're not trading in VIX. So because it's not tradable, that's why we use UVXY. Does that answer y'all's question on that? You're looking to see the market's response to that pivot through the volume spike and decline. And that's why our trick at Rocket Scooter is to use, we used to use VXX until Barclays stopped issuing new shares and became highly illiquid. UVXY was a better alternative. It's just so you can see volume underneath the chart. It's a long-winded answer just to say that. So typically when we're doing overnight hedge pressure, we're looking just for things that are tradable in volume. Maybe we're trying to sort the data. Yeah, and it could just be a way to, who knows what smart traders are doing, right? People, there's always a clever way to do something. Who knows what that trade is part of, but it's kind of curious to speculate, right? Clearly this morning's actual hedge pressure did not pick that up, so okay guys, I'm gonna get out of here in just a second and take a little bit of a break, save my throat. But we'll be back in about an hour. We'll have a Zoom call and a training session for you guys. And then later this afternoon, we'll have another training session. I invite all of you to come. We're going to be analyzing today's irrational market, talking about ways to do trade setups and ways to do the scanner. Hedge pressure for DAX and Euro stocks someday. We would if they have options data that's available for us to purchase. So US options data, we buy data feeds from the options data authorities. If they have options pseudo, and you can find me a website of an official exchange data feed for the DAX, I'd love to have that. I'd love to have Asian markets as well. If we can buy options data, we can do hedge pressures around the clock. That would be amazing. That would be actually a dream come true for me. So if you guys know, because I've looked, we haven't been able to find anything. Unlike ARCA and all the local, we can find, ICE will have like candle data. We need options data, options order flow data, the options time and sales. That's all we need. But do they sell options data? That's the one part. I've looked at some of those before and they didn't have what we needed. We'd have to build it. But if we have the options time and sales, like every order at every time, that's practically all we need. We'll do the training session in probably an hour. I'm just take a break and grab some breakfast real quick. Love having you guys here. Market highly predictable today. I mean, insanely predictable right out the door. Market's irrational. I talked about a hypothetical trade I didn't make, but if I would have traded, I personally sit out an irrational downside. If you do want to trade these kind of things, selling calls way outside of doomsday bands or selling calls outside of an area that's just very hard to get to, and buying calls in case you get a small hedge pressure break. That vertical credit spread would have been a pretty decent trade today, hypothetically speaking, had I made that at the open. Resilience was less than 0, which means we're a gap and go situation. And of course, doomsday being greater than 1/2. Now, while that does imply the market does want to go to the upper band, only if you open inside the bands, which clearly we didn't. So when you open outside the bands, you don't use the doomsday number to pivot this whatsoever. In futures traders, obviously, you can also trade up, selling futures options up in here. If you want to be optional, non-directional, futures do have options too. Instead of just shorting the market here, I can just sell NASDAQ futures calls, which are available less liquid than options in the equities market, but they're still available, just so you can collect premium on a trade and not have full engagement with the margin for the contract itself. And you can gain non-directional move value. When you're just trading futures, you gain value on directional moves only. But if you want to capitalize on the options mechanics and just trading futures in a futures account, you can also sell and buy futures options. The same regard. I would sell 11,500 calls. I would, from here, buy 11,250 calls or whatever's available. So I would have a vertical credit spread that way. Just as a day trade, I'd close the whole spread out at the end of the day. These don't expire Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday like you would in stock. So it's a little less liquid and a little harder to do. But it's also available as well as all kind of ways to trade. We talk about all of them. So about an hour, we'll meet back up. Okay, we will see you guys later. Go to rocketscooter.com, get the free trial. The free trial will give you access for an entire week. You don't have to do anything else. No credit card, nothing. Jump in. In the last couple of days, we've had a massive wave of people come in. We have... in the last couple of days, 80 new people. Or no, 77 new free trials. You guys are awesome. Make sure you come to the Discord, come to the training sessions, and walk through one at a time, every single thing. If you guys like today's training session, smash that like button and come in later in about an hour. We'll come back with a Zoom call and walk you through that stuff. I'll pull up my stats from that trading challenge. I'll try to figure out a good training session for y'all today, and then do something fun, walk through some Rocket Scooter stuff. We love y'all to death, and we'll see y'all later. Oh yeah, zones, dude, it's perfect. I love the zones. Oh yeah. All right, we love you guys. We'll see y'all in about an hour. Come on over. Remember, rocketscooter.com, changing the game for traders. We provide high volume pivots, vertically calculated from our exploitative knowledge of market makers. From here, we give you information you can stack on top of your current trading style or use ours. If you're looking for ways to have repeatable risk management for yourself, role-based trading, look no further. We have a free trial. You guys can check it out. rocketscooter.com. 7 days, no credit card. If you hate it, check it out and go away. If you like it, subscribe. You have 50% off for the rest of your life. And no price raises from the current price. You get $100 a month for everything we have: strategies, training, teaching, the platform, all the data feeds, all the indicators, and everything we make in the future. $100 a month. Even if it costs $1,000 for members at that point, you lock it in forever, and you're going to be glad that you did. Love you guys, and we will see you in about an hour. Have a good one.